today we're going to be using the 3M Perfection to take out some scratches on this truck that came in. Hey guys, my name is Chase, and today we're going to be using the 3M Perfection to take out some scratches on this truck that came in. Some of the things that we've done already is we've gone and washed all the excess dirt off the vehicle, and we've masked off the areas that we don't want to be affected by the compound. And so we're going to be using a 3-step process to show you how to remove a scratch. No wet sanding required. Wet sanding does help remove some of the deeper scratches, but this is the more simpler method we're going to use. So we'll be working on this truck's tailgate today, and I'll see you over there. So what we're going to be starting out with is the step 1 pad. This is a white pad with our white compound. This is going to be a stiff and more aggressive pad, so it's going to be a lot easier to burn through the paint, so this is where you're going to want to be careful. And what we're going to be working with is a dewalt buffer, and we're going to be working at 800 RPMs. It's between the 600 and the 1000, and we're just going to start by putting on some of the compound. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the buffing compound on the pad, or if you want you can put it on the surface. I usually like to put it on the pad because you'll see why here in a second when we go to put it on. So basically you're just going to put, depending on the surface, since I'm doing a big surface, I'm just going to do one full circle, probably half the radius of the buffing pad. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to start to smear it slowly. You can even just tap the trigger, spin it a little. If you spin it too fast while in this process, you will end up flinging compound everywhere, which is a pain to get out of clothes and a pain to get off of black vinyl. So we applied our buffing compound number 1 to the whole surface, and now what we're going to be doing at a 800 RPM setting is putting medium pressure flat against the panel and moving medium, making 50% overpasses as we go down the panel. Well, we finished step 1. We got most of the scratches out, most of the ones that we could. And now I moved on to step 2. I've changed my pad to this black pad, and I'm going to use the compound with the black lid on it. And so what this is it's a swirl remover, and we're going to be using a slightly softer foam applicator pad. And we're going to be kicking our RPMs up to 1200 RPMs, and we'll show you that process here in a minute. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing for step 2, and we're also going to be doing for step 3. We're going to be spreading it across so we get a nice even coverage. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, like mentioned earlier, we're going to be kicking it up to 1200 RPM, and we're going to be applying a little more hard of a pressure, still medium speed, and I'll show you how to do it now. And we're also going to be keeping 50% overpasses on all our steps. So. Now that we've finished with step 2, we're going to move on to step 3. Now this is your polish. So I switched my pad to the blue and the blue compound. And so this is a lot lighter of a pad. It's a little firmer than the second, but it's softer than the first. And so what we're going to be doing is kicking this up to 1400 RPMs. And we're going to be putting the same amount on as we have the entire time. So we're going to be putting on just a little circle here, and then we can begin our process. So now that we have our buffer set to 1400 RPMs, we're going to be spreading it like we have the past 2 steps. And we can begin buffing, and we're going to want to apply more lighter pressure, but go a little slower. So what we're going to do is like this. Look at that sheen. That's embarrassing. And that's the final product. We have now done step 1, 2, and 3, no wet sanding, and we can see the difference from when we started. There are barely any scratches left, and the ones that are the ones that would either need wet sanded or that would need to be repaired. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and we'll see you on the next one.